Hello, everybody. I'm joined today by Evan Henry, who's the Operations Manager at NextGen Jobs. Welcome, Evan. Thanks so much for joining us from Melbourne. I know that there's been a lot of trials and tribulations going through there, and we feel for you and for all of our colleagues and friends in Victoria. Hopefully things will get better very soon. We've asked Evan to join us today to discuss a new partnership which we're putting in place between NIBA and NextGen Jobs. But before we go into the partnership, Evan, what is NextGen Jobs, and just tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, thanks, Dallas, and thanks for having me and taking time out to have a chat. And appreciate your well wishes for all Victorians over recent times. Look, NextGen Jobs is a not-for-profit organisation and group training organisation. Our core business is the employment and mentoring of apprentices and trainees, with a real focus on that in emerging occupations and industries. So the apprenticeship and traineeship model has traditionally, and I think psychologically, been linked to traditional trades. And NextGen's really focused on creating awareness around the apprenticeship and traineeship model and how that can be used and adapted to suit those emerging occupations and industries. But in addition to that, it's also about engaging with community, so young people or those looking to change careers, and creating awareness about these career opportunities in these industries that they can pursue through an apprenticeship or traineeship, and really, undertaking and commencing their apprenticeship or traineeship through this model.
Okay, so how exactly is NextGen Jobs partnering with NIBA? Can you tell us a little about this program and how it got underway?
Yes, I guess there's a long and short story to that, but it really on the back of a relationship we have with Jody Sharman at Marsh Advantage Insurance. Early in 2020, in Melbourne, correct, yeah. Early in 2020, when COVID first hit Australia, we were faced with many challenges. I think all industries were faced with those challenges, and through that relationship with Jody, we had a telephone conversation about the insurance industry, about our industry, and both our backgrounds, Dallas, is we got our professional careers underway through a traineeship.
Right.
And so, big believers in this pathway, this model, and through discussions, identified that this could be a really good talent pipeline for the insurance industry to onboard, new people, welcome new people, and have people undertake a career across the industry through a traineeship. And over several months with several stakeholders across NIBA, we developed this specific model that could be rolled out across the association to help with not only accessing talent at a much earlier entrance point, but also measures to help retain and harness that talent over a period of time to meet not only current workforce needs, but also future workforce needs.
It's interesting that when NIBA was providing training education through NIBA College, we also ran a traineeship program for our members across Australia, and at any one time there were quite a few trainees operating under that program. With the closure of NIBA College, that program wound back. So I think it's really exciting for NIBA to have this partnership getting underway. So tell us why is now a good time for broker firms to think about taking on a trainee?
Yeah, it's a good question, Dallas. Look, in my opinion, it's always a good time to be taking on a trainee, to be giving someone an opportunity to commence their career. The market at the moment is really showing us an abundance of high caliber talent that are looking to access full-time employment, but also to commence and build a career. You're seeing a youth unemployment rate hovering just under 13%. And look, it goes beyond just young people that are looking to access a traineeship. You've got, people that have been in the workforce for a number of years, whether that be casual or part-time, that are rethinking their career direction. You've got people that have been in undertaking study, and due to COVID, that whole sort of model of studying on campus has really changed. So they're starting to rethink about how early they enter the workforce. So they're looking for opportunities to join employers, but also to gain a start in an industry they're passionate about. But in addition to that, you've also got people that are mid-career, and due to COVID and due to the industry that they might have been in for a period of time, and that being significantly impacted, they're also assessing where their career is currently at. And when you've got time to assess, you start to really narrow down on what you want to pursue from a career perspective. So they're also considering a traineeship to get a start when changing industry. So now is a good time than ever. There's also some great government incentives that are incentivizing employers to give people opportunities through traineeships. And it's also a great time to be investing in people coming into your business to meet the demand of your clients and customers, not just now, but into the years to come.
So what exactly now is required of the employer, the broking firm? What's required of the employer thinking of taking on a trainee?
Yeah, look, it's a real strong commitment to investing in a person for the right reasons. So you want to be providing that environment that's safe, that embraces learning, and opportunities to expose people to the industry and also the pathways that it presents. But also an understanding that an individual coming into a traineeship is there to learn. It's an investment over a period of time. So that, I think we can all relate, Dallas, to day one of a new role, or week one or month one, where everything can be quite new. So understanding that's quite critical. As is important is how you welcome people into your organisation. Important that people are going to be nervous starting a traineeship, so it's making them feel comfortable as part of your team and as part of your organisation. The other thing is also allowing them time to meet with the mentors of NextGen Jobs that play a key role in that individual undertaking their traineeship, and also supporting their study requirements through a traineeship as well. So each trainee that would be working in their traineeship would undertake a qualification, which they get about 3 hours per week to do. So it's ensuring that they allow them that time for that component of their traineeship as well.
So how does your organisation, NextGen Jobs, what do you do to make sure that the candidates are the right fit for the fit for the broker firm?
Yeah, look, another great question. So we live and breathe in this space, Dallas. So working with organisations and industries like yourself, as well as with the candidate marketplace, understanding that generation and what they're looking for in employers as well. But in regards to the right fit, look, it's very, very important that we ask as many questions as we possibly can to understand the criteria for the role in regards to where an employer is looking to place a trainee, have a trainee come into their business, but also understand things like workplace culture, the environment, the career opportunities. But it's also an opportunity to also educate hiring managers about traineeships and particular things that are important to assist that individual on their traineeship journey. So that's also important, that we're communicating and educating all stakeholders as part of that process. Once we have that criteria, Dallas, it's also, we go away and manage the recruitment. So the advertising of the role, the screening, the first round interviews, the testing. So we manage all that on behalf of that business. And obviously we compile all that and recommend a shortlist across to the hiring managers to review. So in addition to that, we will, my apologies.
You mentioned earlier the role of the mentoring, and also the fact that the people would be doing some study once they start the traineeship. So just a little bit more information on both of those aspects.
Yeah, look, mentoring, I think we can all agree that having a mentor in not just the workplace, but in life provides so many positive benefits
Mm.
to us
Yeah,
as we, go through life. With trainees and apprentices, it's often their first step into a professional environment. Not always, but the vast majority it is. So NextGen Jobs has experienced mentors where their role is to work with both the individual, the trainee, and the hiring manager to, support them throughout their traineeship journey. So checking in on performance, job satisfaction, job enjoyment. Are they undertaking training? How are they going with their training? But it's also not just about seeing how work is going. As a
mm.
mentor, we also, factor in that there is a life away from work.
Yeah,
So we like to understand and support them through those
mm. Mm.
challenges that might occur. And as a mentor, it's also about providing direction and support when and if it's needed.
Yeah.
So that plays
And
a
what,
real critical role.
so for somebody looking at a traineeship in insurance broking, what sort of study would they undertake?
Yeah, so with this particular initiative, Dallas, we've linked a Certificate 3 in business qualification to the
Hmm.
traineeship. We've chosen that pathway as it's a more rounded qualification, factoring in,
Yeah.
yes, they're in the insurance industry, but a large portion of their role is administrative based. So
Yes.
it's trying to factor in both those elements. And we've selected a number of electives which is available to view through our information to your member base. A number of units from the insurance stream to also recognise that
Okay.
you are in the insurance industry. So we've
Yeah.
tried to create a bit of a holistic qualification for those individuals.
Yeah. And what's the cost? How does the cost factor work in a traineeship scenario?
Yeah, look, it really is cost effective, Dallas. There's no initial cost for us at NextGen Jobs to undertake recruitment, the
Right.
screening, the referring, apart from obviously meeting with us from a time perspective so we can
Mm.
understand individual needs around
Yep.
the business and the role.
Yep.
Trainees that enter a traineeship are paid under the national training wage. And there's a couple of factors that their specific wage is based on,
Mm.
primarily the year level they've completed at secondary school, and then how many years they have been out of school. So there is a little bit of a fluctuation in those particular costs, but included in our costs is, once an individual starts, is the trainee's wages, and all the associated employer on costs such as work cover, superannuation, their leave entitlements, the
Hmm.
mentoring, the industrial relations, but also things like payroll, their tax, and managing all of those things on behalf of one of the employers who take on a trainee.
Yep.
So we keep costs as minimal as we possibly can in line with the national training wage and also
Yep.
our on costs.
Yep.
One of the other key things to mention there, Dallas, is there's absolutely no cost until someone physically starts in their
Right.
traineeship and
Yep.
submits their first timesheet. And there's also no buyout fee at the end of a traineeship as well. So the ultimate aim and success that we're measured on is that individual completing their traineeship, staying on with the business and continuing to
Yep.
grow their career. So therefore, there's no buyout fee. That's the outcome we're all after in this situation.
And I think, given the previous experience of NIBA College, you mentioned Jodie's own personal experience. I think there's a lot of people who have gone on to succeed in insurance broking who started the roles as a trainee in a broker firm. So that's great. What does a broker firm, if one of the managers in a broker firm wants to take this further, what's the best thing that they should do?
Yeah, look, is let's have a conversation. I think it's great to send me an email or one of the team at NextGen an email, or call directly. We can go through a couple of questions about the program, about the business, how it might work. It might work out that there isn't quite a need there for a trainee, but I think get in touch. Let's talk about it. And if all things line up, then great. Let's ideally under COVID, let's meet up in person, get some more information. There is some basic paperwork to go through from a commercial operational perspective,
Yes.
which we can guide you through. but let's get the conversation started and determine if a trainee is something that can be, welcomed into your team and business.
That's really good, Evan. Look, can I pay credit to the NIBA Victoria Committee? They have put a lot of work into this. I know they've done a lot of research. They've done due diligence. They've really investigated all the aspects of this. I'm also really delighted that the NIBA National Board has endorsed this program to proceed under NIBA's auspices. That just goes to show the value that we put into the concept of traineeships in broking. And I think that's really good. And I'm just delighted that we've got a partnership with NextGen Jobs to be able to take this matter forward. So thanks so much for your time today, Evan, and just to explain it all. And we'll continue to minute. Now, the point I did want to make though is that this is coming out of the Victorian Committee. Obviously, you guys are based in Melbourne. My understanding is this is national. This is a national offer? Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yep, across Australia, Dallas. Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Look, thanks, Evan. I think that's really helpful and that's useful. So we'll continue to send this message out to our members, and I'm really grateful for your time today to explain the initiative. So thanks very much.
You're most welcome, and thank you to you and your board and the wider team. Appreciate it.
Cheers.